Hokkien Mee Noodles is such a simple noodle dish to make, but it tastes absolutely incredible and it's so easy to make. I am going to be using beef for this one, but you can use chicken if you'd prefer, and I'll leave all of the details about that in the description below. Please sit back, relax, and enjoy. Alright guys, with one fully peeled brown or yellow onion that's had its tip and root removed, slice it in half, and with it in the half moon position, thinly slice across, laying it down flat on the opposite side to finish slicing safely. Get 3 freshly peeled garlic cloves and 10 grams or 0.3 ounces of peeled ginger, running them both along a fine microplane to create a paste which is otherwise known as minced, making sure to scrape it all out there to avoid any waste. Next we need 1 small red bell pepper or half of a large one, which is what I have here. With this we want to slice it in half, and if it is big, just save the other half for another recipe, then snap off the stem or core and give this a few bangs on the bench, which should remove most of the seeds. To make it easier to work with, slice it in half again, then lay it flat so it's not wobbling around, and on a very slight angle, slice it into thin, even-sized strips, and this can also be left out if you're not a fan, and personally I don't like this on its own, but it does work really well with the other ingredients. Here is 150 grams or 5.2 ounces of button mushrooms, and all that we want to do with these is just slice them nice and thin, but you can also quarter them if you prefer the larger size. After that's done, separate the white stems from the green stems from 2 spring onions or scallions, slicing the green stem on a slight angle to create diamond or oval shaped pieces, which is going to be used as a garnish as it has a very mellow and sweetish flavour. Then with the white stems, slice them straight on to create circle shaped pieces, with these being used to cook as they have a stronger onion flavour and a stronger sweetness, and it will partner really well with the other ingredients. For the optional ingredient, which is 1 long red chilli, slice off and remove the stem, and just like the bell pepper or capsicum, slice it on a very slight angle, and this can be used in the dish and used as a garnish, only of course if you like the additional heat. Now last but not least, get yourself 500 grams or 1.1 pounds of either rump, Scotch or fillet steak and slice across the grain into thin strips. If you didn't know, slicing across the grain helps break down the fibre tissue, which relaxes the meat, makes it a lot more tender and easier to chew. Also, if you get into the middle of slicing and start noticing the strips are getting longer, simply slice them in half, trying your best to get consistent sizes, that way it will all cook evenly. Now to get this cooking, place a large pan or wok over a high heat. Once hot, add in half a tablespoon or 10 milliliters of peanut oil, add in the stripped steak, and stir fry this for 1 minute just to get a slight browning all over, moving it around pretty regularly. And once that's done, reduce the heat to medium-high and remove the steak, placing it into a bowl or on a plate to rest for the time being. Now add in another half a tablespoon or 10 milliliters of peanut oil, and this time chuck in the thinly sliced onion and stir fry for 3 minutes, keeping it moving pretty regularly just until it starts to soften and become golden, also starting to pick up that flavour that the steak left behind. Let's then introduce the minced garlic as well as the minced ginger, with both of them adding a beautiful fragrance and flavour, and continue stir frying for 45 seconds, breaking them up in the process as well as keeping it moving, which will prevent it from burning. Add in the thinly sliced red bell pepper or capsicum, the thinly sliced or quartered mushrooms, the thinly sliced white stem spring onion or scallion, and a little bit, or the whole amount of the sliced chili if you're using it. Continue stir frying this over a medium-high heat, moving it around regularly just until it starts to soften, and during this stage the moisture that will release from the vegetables will help pick up any flavours stuck on the bottom of the pan. Once that's done, reintroduce the sliced steak along with any resting juices and add in 350 grams or 12.3 ounces of fresh Hokkien noodles, 2.5 tablespoons or 50 milliliters of dark soy sauce, and 50 grams or 1.76 ounces of Hoisin sauce. This can then be given a really good mix to help separate the noodles and allow those flavors to become friends, and whilst mixing regularly, stir fry for 1 minute, ensuring the noodles are nice and hot, all sauced up, and then this can be removed from the stovetop. Now depending on which way you like to eat, either place this down onto a plate or in a bowl, creating a nice big stack. Then here I have my garlic chili oil, which I'll link my recipe for in the description below. Garnish the noodles with the green stem spring onion or scallion, as well as the sliced chili if you're using it, and of course coriander or cilantro, which is also optional, leaving us with this quick, cheap, and absolutely delicious Hokkien Mee noodles that are perfect for any occasion and will impress anyone you serve them to. The only thing that's then left to do is make all of this worthwhile, and that is we can then dig in.